Hello, kindred spirits. In this episode, I'm going to take you on a beautiful fine living trip to Essex, Connecticut, and a few of the surrounding towns. At the end, I'm going to give you a quick garden update, and then we'll go over the rules again for the subscriber giveaway that's happening next week. Dinner at the Griswold Inn. A true-to-life dinner moment is at the end of this video. I do have another Visiting Essex, Connecticut video on my channel from last year. Shows some different views, so if you'd like to see that, I will link it below, and I will also try to link it above. The next day and evening, my husband went to play golf for a J.P. Morgan event that was held in New York. He actually took some videos for us. The country club included an old Vanderbilt and Rockefeller mansion, and I will show you that later in the video. That said, I enjoyed a full day and evening of solo fine living adventures of walking to see more beautiful homes, dining, and also shopping. I hope you enjoy this part of the video. Now, the problem with starting my walks later in the day, especially while vacationing, is I never got off of Main Street for the walk for about 2 hours. I went into stores, chatted with business owners, and here I may have bought this dress. And we couldn't leave Ben out. I actually picked him up a golf shirt, and now that we're back home, he went off this morning to one of his golfing events, and he's wearing this, and it looks so cute on. I love it with all the flags. Now, Cortlandt Park is its own brand, and they create these down and knit jackets that are so comfortable, and I wish I shared trying it on because it is a little more form-fitting than it looks here. This size was a medium. I tried on a small. I'm actually thinking of carrying these in the shop, and I think it would look great with whatever logo we create. Now I'm going to insert this shopping trip in. I went the day before. It's actually as soon as we got to the inn, I dropped Ben off and I went to visit Nora Murphy at her shop, the little shop in Chester, Connecticut. It's only 9 to 12 minutes from the inn, and I can't believe I've never been to this sweet little town. Let me show you the shop and a little bit of the town before we get to our walk. Now, I haven't seen Nora for years. I first met her when she had me over her house New Year's Day. Talk about hostess for the mostest. She had me over for tea and cookies while she was prepping for a gathering at her house that day. But we were talking about business and magazines and writing and, of course, our love of old houses. So it was really nice to see her so many years later in her new store and now signing her second book for me, and I am going to treasure this book, and it is beautiful. Not only do I love old homes, I love old trees, and look at these two beauties. The shape of them are just beautiful. went back to my room to change out of sneakers and my jeans, put on my white pants, some wedges, and off to lunch I go. Now it's time for me to head back, pick up the dress that I got earlier this morning. I didn't want to carry things while I was walking, and I may have also stopped in this shop, which is across from the inn. It's part of their gift shop, and there's rooms upstairs also. But first, let me go get something else, and then we'll come back. This is when I hear the Britney Spears song. Oops, I did it again. Truth be told, I may have done a little more shopping at a few more shops on Main Street. My feet needed a rest, so I came down to the park, sat here for a little bit, and while I was down here, I noticed one of the side gardens, which was total inspiration for what Ben and I are going to be doing at the front of our house. We've started bark mulching. It's all in the shade. I will be adding a lot of hosta. This exemplifies the meaning of golf widow. But that's okay. Once again, I am enjoying myself, and I had a little cocktail, and then the music began. There was an Irish singer, but this girl was ready to go to bed. Long day of walking all over town, and I wanted to enjoy my book by the fire. Here it is Tuesday morning already, and before I take you on to the rest of this day, I'm going to insert the videos that Ben took of the mansion. He said this is only a very small portion of it. This mansion was built by a Vanderbilt, didn't get to even move in by the time it was done, so the widow at one point sold it to a Rockefeller. I will link the history information below this video. After that, Ben and I went for breakfast right down the street to a place called Olive Oils. It has a really cute theme inside. We grabbed some breakfast sandwiches and some coffee. After finishing breakfast, we headed back to the inn, and we're getting ready to go look at Ben's grandparents' house and where Ben used to summer and his father grew up. But I first asked the front desk for a little tour of some of the other rooms, and I think I found one of my favorite outbuildings. They do have several. I can't wait to show you the Hayden house as well as some of the other single rooms. know how much control it took not to go fix that light? Now we're going to walk over to the Hayden house. Now, like I said, the inn does have some other properties that are not in the main inn, like across the street above the gift store. There are a couple of rooms, and those are available to rent, and they're newer than some of the rooms I just showed you. But we're going to go into the Hayden house. It has a community area downstairs, and then there's some rooms upstairs. And I forgot to mention, these properties or these rooms do not have TV, but there is one here inside of the Hayden house. And I forgot my key. I turned it in. I have a key that was for all exterior doors, so I'm going to have to go into the front desk and ask to get into the Hayden house. Okay, try number 2. And out back here, there is seating for the restaurant. They open this up for the summer, so keep this in mind. If you do rent the Hayden house, you could have dining behind you. So if we rent this, we will definitely be doing it off season. As I mentioned, downstairs are 2 common rooms so that guests can stay down here. There's fireplaces and this dining room table. This is what I am looking for our kitchen, because I can close it to a circle, but when we have family, I can extend it. And I have been on the hunt for that, and I'm going to just wait until it finds me when I'm out and about versus really searching for it. So this is one of the upstairs rooms. Now, what is different from the one that we had 2 rooms that we could close off. This is also very similar, but there was no fireplace, and if I had known there was a fireplace downstairs, I probably would have requested this room. And I forgot to mention, the reason I didn't show our room this time is somehow, out of all of these rooms, we got into the same room number 4 again. So if you want to see that, I will once again link the other video below. Well, my carriage awaits. It's time to go. We are heading off to Groton Long Point, Noank, and Mystic, Connecticut. This was Ben's father's house and his grandparents' house, and I was so hoping somebody was going to be outside, maybe work in their yard, because I definitely would have said hello and asked if Ben could have looked a little bit closer. But around the corner here, you can see through the bushes, barely, there is a bird feeder there, and that is remembered by Ben all through his childhood. His father ended up making one or purchased one that was the same. This is it. This particular birdhouse ended up falling apart, so we had this one remade for his parents as a Christmas gift one year. But I love this picture with the 2 cats inside the birdhouse. After reliving some family memories and childhood memories for Ben, we ended up going to Mystic, Connecticut, and we just took a quick stroll and picked up some fudge at the local candy store. This girl was ready to get home to her puppy, and do some gardening because I was very much inspired by this trip. Well, it is so good to be home, and we had a little treat left by my daughter. She had made some lilac-infused lemonade, and I ended up making a little cocktail for us and was going to write down in my journal about how she made it and our trip, but somebody was feeling a little needy. Before my next video, I just wanted to share a quick garden update because it's going to look so different next week. Just a garden update. So the gardeners couldn't make it when we thought they were going to make it. And me being, I don't want to say antsy, but determined to get things going, I did end up coming into these gardens. And I edged them. It's hard to tell now because some of the grass is grown, but I edged all these gardens. And I did have a load of bark mulch brought in. So I did bark mulch all of this area. Next week, this is going to be in full bloom. The peonies are just about ready to pop. The irises are opening. The dumpster is still here. 1 or 2 more days. I think they're coming on Tuesday. For those of you who are new to the channel, this whole area is a new garden bed for me. It was completely full of beautiful apple mint, but I wanted some cutting gardens. So over the course of the 2 summers, I've been working on this. And a little update. This is one thing that I've been working on. This was all of the ditch lilies right here. And on the other side, also with forsythia. Cleaned this up, once again edged it, brought in more bark mulch, and I have a couple plantings going in. I have been starting a wall here, and I'm going to kind of raise it up on this side just so that when we enter this part of the garden, you feel like you're entering a different room. So I did work on this yesterday, and let me tell you, man, I felt it. But I'm surprised today I'm not achy. That's huge. So been working on this. I still have to work on it. I've been rebuilding this wall little by little, and I need to go back inside here. All the greens are starting to come again, but I've got a plan for this, and I'm excited. I can't wait to bring that to fruition. Now, that's not all that I did. And this is what happens when I put my phone down and take a few days off from social media. It was actually very liberating, and I loved it. So I think I showed this, I did edge this area here. And definitely I need to cut this Rosa rugosa. Unfortunately, it is not going to make it. So I'll cut this down and I will replant something there. Now this is kind of a before on this end and an after. I started cleaning up these beds. There was a plastic edging here that I took up, and also some landscape tarping that I took up. Some of it was actually just plastic bags that they had. So I know I'll be fighting with stuff, but I'd rather be weeding easier than pulling up a lot of the landscape tarping here. But once again, this is what it looked like. And this is where I got. And I was keeping myself in a block scenario, but working in the gardens, I had to move where the sun moved. So that's why I've got some things here half done. Now, I have not planted anything yet here in the garden. I definitely wanted to get everything done here for the floral gardens. And I purchase vegetables that are already growing. So I will probably go out this week and get them and make sure I have my watering all set so I can keep them nice and hydrated. I've got this strawberry box open up here, but I'll have to make sure to close it tonight because I do have many strawberries and I don't want the chipmunks and squirrels and the bears to come get them. Now I still have weeding to do here, but I'm letting that go. One thing I did enjoy doing is these blueberry bushes were all laying down and you really couldn't see them. So I cleaned up all of the weed blocker that was also down here. I staked them up so they're standing straight. I'm going to give it a good rake, and I have been saving coffee grounds that I'm going to sprinkle around here before I bark mulch it. I might even remove this wood. I'm not sure yet. It did its purpose, but it's definitely past its prime. I could probably rebuild it a little bit, but I think I'll be doing these blueberries maybe tomorrow or Monday. Right now I am taking a little break from editing the video for YouTube for Connecticut, and I'm just outside with Willow. I'll be in and out all day, but I've been pulling plants from the holding beds here that I've been putting in the gardens. This has worked out well. So by next week, like I said, I'll be getting a crew in here. I think we have 5 coming to help me, and I'm going to be giving them a map of the property. I've got that downward view map that I took from the aerial, and kind of make the spots that we're going to be working on, which is hopefully edging and bark mulching the whole yard, including the orchard area out front. Oh, and Ben and I also did something out front, but I'm still in my nightgown, so I'm not going to go out front yet, but I will show that later. We've been cleaning up even against a wall, little by little, eating that elephant a bite at a time. Oh, I didn't show my supports here. So I have some that are painted, some aren't. Let's get that dumpster out of the view. Oh, and I've got my stakes over there. But I did paint some with its flat black primer. This is the exact same paint that I used. Oh, hello, bug. This is the same paint that I used for the brass chandelier that is in our kitchen, just to make it look like wrought iron. But the peonies over here, I have never seen them this tall, ever. I mean, I've been growing peonies my whole life. These are a good 4 feet tall. Now, I do have these staked up, but it's just, the weather. And I'll probably do I might even add a few more stakes, just like an outer amount, because these will still bend over and I don't want them to break. But this really helped keeping them upright. I like how it worked out. And if I chose, I could untie the top and make them square and then still use my string. So this is an area I still have to weed, but I am so pleased at how this part is coming out. My vision is coming together. Here's one thing I definitely wanted to show you. If you choose to make an arch like this, and if you choose to use some forsythia branches like I did, make sure the forsythia branch is not touching the ground, because what it will do, it will root and it will start new shoots. It was actually growing. This was put up here last spring. Now, I was going to take it out, and Ben's like, just take it out of the ground. So I did pull it out of the ground, and just to show you, there were roots starting here. So that little bit actually gave life to this. Also have bittersweet I have to move. But I thought that was funny. If this forsythia wasn't a little invasive and take over, it could have been a pretty addition, but it's not staying, or the leaves won't be. Yep, another week. This will be all in bloom, this whole area. Bless you. This is the space I referenced earlier when I was in Connecticut. We're going to be putting down a lot more bark mulch. These are wood chips that we've already had from a pine tree that came down. We put down some paper, then the chips, and Ben edged it, like I said, a couple weeks ago, and we'll just keep doing this. And then once it's done, I'll probably get some hosta and some other plants. Now, what would happen here if I moved this light? No, don't touch it. My date is watching golf during our date. We'll let it slide. Golf. Wife is usually there. Golf. Wife is usually there. Well,
wife is Instagramming during dinner, so oops. I get golf.
This is true. This is very true. Okay, regarding our giveaway, if you already entered last week or during the week, please do not enter again because it will not count. The rules are you need to be a subscriber to this channel and comment below that you are a subscriber and give this video a thumbs up. Next week on June 2nd, we will announce one person whose name was drawn, and I will send the box anywhere in the world as long as we're able to send it there, a custom curated box for that particular winner. So when your name is pulled, you have 1 week to get back to us, and I will tell you how to do so in next week's video, and we will go from there. If we don't hear from somebody in a week, I will pull another name. Good luck.